Gotta get up and get it, I got some funds to approach. Big dog off the chain, can't stay on the poach. I'ma get what I deserve, I've been working the most. It's around the corner, I feel like I'm close. I don't need no navigation, just a Pandora station. I use my spirit as my compass, deviating location. I'm checking geographics, I buried many hatches. If you ever sleeping on me, hope you're down your mattress. Had some nights and no rest, but nevertheless I'm still blessed. I use the powers of my prayers to overcome being stressed. I was working with less, like my name Mr. Rogers, taking trophies from opponents like the Stros did the Dodgers.
Oh man,
do I look like a bully? Thank you. See, he's probably rolling right now. I heard him press the camera.
I am.
Funny. That's just funny. Well, ladies and gents, welcome to the Quest Podcast. My name's Rew. This is Lee, and we just met.
Yeah, we're strangers.
Yeah, we literally are strangers. I walked onto the set and Lee was here with the setup with the cars. I haven't touched them because I don't know what what vibes are going. I don't know what's going on, and we're gonna find out, y'all. Like this is dope. This is dope. So Lee, like, where are you from?
I'm from here. I'm from Houston.
You from Houston? Okay, that's dope. What side?
Northeast side.
Northeast side. Okay, I'm trying to learn the sides. I haven't learned them. So like, did you like high school? Did you hate it? Like,
high school was not a challenge for me.
Mm-hmm.
I enjoyed it. Like,
Yeah.
I was one of those kids that was so good that nobody thought that I was bad.
Hmm.
So I was able to like,
Get away with all the bad shit that you
yep, without consequences.
That's
And
what's
then
up.
if any teacher saw us for what we were, like, they couldn't get the administrators or anybody to believe it.
What? So give me an example. Like, what'd you get caught? What'd you get caught doing?
It would be a thing like there would be a hall sweep,
Uh-huh.
and we'd be still walking around after the hall sweep.
Just chilling.
Just chilling. We get caught in the hallways. We're stopped by the assistant principal. Like, hey, why are you not in class? Oh, the teacher sent me to go do this. You got a permit? Nah, she didn't give it to me yet. Oh, okay. You sure did good on those report cards. And I'm like, hey,
I appreciate it.
How big was your school?
Oh, it was pretty big. It was like 2 levels. And
Oh,
just
they
like
got stairs and whatnot.
it was probably like a whole block. It was a really big school.
Damn, what was the name of it? What school?
Barbara Jordan.
Oh, that's what's up. I like the name of it.
Mhm.
Yeah, so it was predominantly black.
Yeah,
black
predominantly
neighborhood?
black.
Yeah, that's dope.
Yeah. Mhm.
Did he have like any like special programs at school? I'm just asking you.
It was like a school for professions. So
Really?
other
That's
than-
dope.
Yeah, they had like photography.
I didn't even know that was out here.
Yeah, photography, automotive, cosmetology,
Yeah. So what'd you specialize in?
health science.
Health science. Why that?
Because back then I wanted to be a nurse.
Okay. Okay. So what's the path now? Like, what's your quest bringing you to now?
I'm just doing a little bit of everything now.
Well, what's
So
everything?
I actually do vegan meal prep.
That's dope.
It's called Vegan Nom Nomz.
Vegan Nom Nomz.
Vegan Nom
Get
Nomz.
you some.
Yeah. And basically with Vegan Nom Nomz, I wanted to break the stigma that, eating vegan is boring.
Yeah.
All you do is eat grass and everything is bland. So,
Yeah.
I'm Creole. So
Okay, come on with it.
I do a whole lot of Creole dishes.
Yeah.
But I veganized it.
Yeah,
And
put the veganism on there. Just
Mhm.
yeah.
I'm very big on flavor.
Okay, come
I
on.
can just cook in
As
general.
are all black people. you
Yes,
know? Yeah.
I can cook in general. So basically, it don't matter if I'm cooking with meat, cooking without meat.
Yeah.
It's gonna taste good.
So how did you get into your veganism? Like, what made you just say, I'm going vegan? Like, I'm done with the meat.
Well, my big sister, I just kind of followed in behind her. She's a bit older than me. Back in I think 2007, she became vegetarian.
Okay.
And so when I would go visit her, I would just eat whatever she had.
Yeah.
And so from there, I stopped drinking dairy.
Okay.
Like
yeah.
dairy milk.
That was pretty easy for me.
That was so easy because it was also cheaper at that time. And I didn't even have intentions of completely giving up dairy or anything like that, or milk, because I was a big cereal person. So
Yeah. What's your favorite cereal?
I love Cinnamon Toast Crunch.
Man, I just bought a box of that. Come on, you can't have nothing.
Y'all do me
I gotta get in there. Eat all my cereal, cinnamon toast
That's
crunch
the only
included.
reason I had to get some, you know. So, you know.
But
yeah.
yeah, like it wasn't supposed to be like a permanent thing. It's something that was just convenient. And when I went home to visit, you know, my parents, they had whole milk, and I went to drink it, and 1 spoon in, I started gagging.
Wow.
So I basically haven't had dairy milk since 2009.
Since 09, damn.
Yeah, since 09.
Almost
Coming up on 10
Coming on
years.
10 years, yeah.
Yeah, and so from there, I just kind of started, I guess, experimenting with all of the different vegan meats and stuff like that, because I love nachos.
What's a vegan meat?
So they call them meat substitutes.
Oh,
so
okay.
it can be
The
like
meatless tacos. And
yeah, stuff
okay,
like that.
okay.
And so basically, the first vegan meat that I experimented with was the crumbles, and that's basically the vegan substitute that replicates ground beef.
So what's it made out of if it's vegan?
It's gonna depend because now they're making them without soy, but they used to be soy protein.
Yeah.
Some of them are like gluten protein and stuff like that, but it literally depends on the brand.
Definitely. So since you've taken a change, you know, so when did you just cut out like meat altogether, like no more meat?
Well, I haven't completely 100% dropped the hammer on it.
Okay.
But I'm at the point right now where I don't buy it and I don't cook it. But like at a family gathering or something
Then
like
you'll
that, I'll just eat what they have to make it easy.
Okay, see that? See,
Yeah.
she's a cool veganizer. Like, is that what you like? You just like vegan, or is there a special community? I'm not sure. Because people be acting like sometimes the way that people who aren't vegan, they act like it's a whole religion or something. Like,
Oh, some people are zealots. Some
Really?
people are very uppity and arrogant about it. But I'm not like that because I understand.
yeah.
I definitely understand, and then I look at things from like an evolutionary standpoint.
Okay.
Because I just feel like
No perspective.
back in the day, they was not like, oh, I'm not going to eat this, you know,
You had
bear.
to eat what you had.
Yes, I'm not going to eat this buffalo. I'm going to just eat these nuts and these berries.
That's-
Like, no, they was out there throwing spears and eating meat.
Yeah.
But the thing about it now is there is no humanity anymore.
There you go. It's
They're
all about,
just slaughtering animals wholesale. They're not
Production.
taking exactly what they need
Yep.
and letting these animals live. They're just lining them up, killing them all,
That's
and
it.
just like,
Pumping them full of steroids.
Yes.
And that's it, and getting them out the line.
yes,
Yeah.
there is no respect for the animal. Because I know largely in like Native American culture, they venerated the animal. They would pray to it, pray for it,
Yep.
purify the energy of it, and use every part of it. Like giving the animal dignity.
Exactly.
There is no dignity now. Now the animals, they're abused.
Yep.
They live in filth. They live in fear, and
And
they're
They
just-
eat shit.
yeah.
You know, and that energy is transferred through the meat. You know, and a lot of people that I've seen, you know, turn to being vegan, they say like, I don't want that, you know, that energy transfer because we know it can't be, you know, created or destroyed or the transfer, so they don't want that in their body when they consume the product. So I ain't mad at
Yeah,
them.
it's often said that people that eat a lot of meat, they act like animals because that's all they eat.
Huh.
Wow.
I haven't heard that saying before, but
Yeah.
all right. So we know what Trump diet consists of. You know. So when you versus a vegan meal, strictly vegan meal, and the meal containing meat, does your body feel any different? Like, do you feel lighter versus the two? Because I know when I don't eat as heavy as I used to, I definitely feel the difference.
Yeah, I feel like when I eat meat for whatever reason, I have a bit more trouble sleeping.
Really? Okay. That's
Mhm.
interesting.
I feel a bit more groggy. I don't feel as energetic
Yeah.
in light, and I feel like it kind of clouds my intuition because I'm like an extremely spiritual person. So
Yeah.
spirits speak to me and stuff like that. And so I feel like when my messages are coming through, I have a more difficult time deciphering it as opposed to when I'm nice and green and energized and
Yeah.
I got that nice life force flowing through me.
Hmm.
But whenever I do eat meat, I am absolutely sure to bless it. And
Okay.
it's not like, oh, you know, thank you for blessing me with this food. I'm like, no, bless the life and energy that went into this meal. Thank you for choosing me. I am grateful. I venerate your spirit. Thank you.
Yeah.
It's like giving that that animal that humanity back,
Okay. Okay.
so that I don't internalize their pain
Their pain or
and their
yeah.
negativity.
So what actually drew you to that discipline to be able to do that? Because, you know, sometimes it's like, man, look, I'm ready to eat. You know, like, I ain't worried about that. Like, what really drove you to be that disciplined?
I took my time.
Okay.
It wasn't like I just woke up one morning and was like, oh, I'm gonna be vegan today.
Yeah, yeah.
No, it just started out with, oh, for breakfast I'm gonna have some scrambled tofu.
Okay.
Oh, for lunch today I'm gonna have some pulled pork vegan sliders.
So you just acquired a taste for certain things.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And it was over time. It got to a point where I was able to build up a knowledge of how to cook the food,
There you go.
recipes, and all of that, to where I'm not just like, I don't know what I'm going to eat today. Oh, and I don't know how to make vegan stuff, so I'm just, go get some Taco Bell or something like that.
Yeah.
So, I think I've been successful with it because I took my time and it wasn't like a rash decision.
Yeah.
And I feel like a lot of people struggle with transitioning to veganism because they're under the impression that it's something that can happen overnight.
It's microwave society mentality,
And then there's also this other large misconception that it's very expensive.
A huge misconception,
It's-
for especially for the black community.
Yes. Because I don't understand people, they'll go and spend like, how much does ground beef cost? Like
$10.
10, yeah, about 10. You can get a lot of vegetables for that.
you can get, you can get vegetables. Okay, so let's say you wanted to make some nachos or something
Okay,
like that. So some veggie shreds that melt down, that's about $3.
Mm-hmm.
And some of the crumbles, that's about $3 and some change.
So we're going to say $7 right there. We're going to say 7.
Including the tax.
So yeah, you go get a head of lettuce, that can be like 97 cents.
97
You
cents.
get one tomato, some cilantro.
Ooh, I love the cilantro.
Yeah, and what you got money for, like what, 2 other little veggies?
Then if you want to get some candy bars or something, you can go and get you some candy bars or something.
You
Or some
got a little
gum.
bit left over, so that's a whole meal. That's a whole vegan meal for what you just paid for a pack of meat. But it's
Cost
just
saving.
literally all about perception and what you want to spend your money on.
Exactly.
And I mean, there is some expensive vegan stuff out there. I'm not gonna lie, it can get expensive.
Sure.
But if you're minimalist, it's definitely a way to keep it nice and
Okay.
affordable. But people, they just feed into so many preconceptions and misconceptions, and they get these things in their head, and then they're so resolute about it, and they don't want to think about it any other way. And that's just where they get stuck.
No lies. So Nom Nomz, like, are you educating your customers that come to you? Like, do you get people who are really educated on the vegan lifestyle, or are you?
A lot of my customers are exposed to it already.
Okay.
And when I do have people that want to try it out, I do explain to them. And then they're able to have like certain online, I explain to them how starches. So it's very specified. I usually take orders for have time to work out with it. So they have to let me know, oh, I don't need to make my stuff. Oh, I don't want white rice. Make sure if I have rice, it's brown rice, stuff like that. So they still have. I think I sometimes don't because not only am I like a personal chef, but I'm also yeah.
So, like, are you a certified culinary artist?
No.
Like, you plan on moving forward with that?
It's something I'm considering.
Why not? Oh,
I just don't like.
I ain't mad at you.
I don't like
I ain't
school.
mad at you. We
I'm
don't like
still.
school. We don't like your loans.
Yeah.
We don't like you.
I'm still
self-made.
paying off student loans,
You know
and
what
I
I'm saying?
graduated in
Student loans.
2011.
So I cook. Everybody cook. I think I do this good. Student loans. Real talk.
The
Okay.
Quest
that makes
Podcast does not recommend anybody flicking off anybody. Continue.
Except student loans aren't the first thing.
Except Trump. Anywho, continue.
But yeah, no school, no none of that. Okay, so on average, like, how long does it take you to meal prep, and how many like days?
Well, my 3 cooking days are Sundays. So people typically want their meals Sunday so they can have. So on a given Sunday, I'm usually in the kitchen for about 2 hours. And that also depends on how.
So this is typically a week.
Well, I try not to buy everything in advance. So I'm usually buying the groceries approximately like a day or a day. So nothing is. It's usually like if I can help it, I'm day up. And you're getting. Mhm.
So what's your favorite?
Well, my favorite.
Give me the top.
Well, I love nachos.
Have you ever said
She
nachos?
touched it. Yeah, she touched on it.
It's like 10, 7, 18, 11 times.
Yes. Vegan nachos is my favorite, and I make it different ways. So I can make it to where I melt down a block of cheese and make it like Brazil style.
Yeah.
And then I can make it like restaurant style where I also enjoy shrimp spaghetti. And I think
You did make some cool
So
stuff.
like, did you bring?
I did not.
Parrain takes the blame for that. I take the blame for that. I started to ask her to bring something to try, but you know
this
it.
ain't the chew or the view, okay?
Like my about
Yeah.
food. And like I didn't want to bring no food.
Oh man, you should. That is your fault, bro. 'cause you-
I said it's my fault. I said it's my fault. I take the blame.
And I know he picked.
He ain't. Look, he don't speak for me, so that's what I'm saying. Yeah, it's definitely God. Okay.
I am picky, but I do take the blame for this.
Okay,
I do. We go get something though. We definitely go get something.
I mean, I think we got vegan, you know what I'm saying, in there. You know, we can do
Oh,
a
it's
live-
nothing to like vegan.
we can do a live set. Y'all want a live? I mean, if we had a call-in number, I'd be like, call in now for a live session.
Sit your Miss Cleo ass.
Man, how is it even? We haven't even got to that part yet.
I'm just saying, call me now. You know what I mean? When we was a kid, bro.
Yeah, I remember that. You know, but that would have been. Yeah, I would have enjoyed that. You know.
Well, I know for next time.
Exactly.
This is some Real Quest podcast stuff. Different setup, but we still going off subject and laughing and stuff. Anywho, continue, my brother.
Okay, so we talked about favorite meal.
Top 3.
What has been the most difficult? I don't want to put nobody on blast. You don't have to speak.
Who's your most difficult customer
I was
or the most difficult order that you had to do?
Well, I'm in control of my. So
Okay.
I don't like put anything underneath that. So as far as that, that's not. But I have snacks, and hands down, the most expensive snack that I didn't even anticipate was making.
So wait, you even got a snack. You ain't bringing a snack.
Boy, you sound real fat right now.
You ain't bringing a snack. We talking about big. You know, I'm trying to get my weight. You know, my weight loss or my food eating right. But I'm saying like
Your
everybody
foodie
knows
right?
snacks.
Your foodie right?
My
Is that a
foodie
word?
I don't know. Food, hey, whatever.
Hey, that should be a new cereal, bro.
People are foodies,
Forget Fruit Loops. Fruity right.
Fruity. Hey, on the cool. On the cool, that's gonna be the
Hey, copyrighted. That's copyrighted.
But anyway, everybody loves snacks. Who don't love snacks?
You know, hey, people get weird, really weird when you mention and like I at first said like, oh no, it's me. Oh, what me? So like, folks be real dramatic.
Yeah.
And you know, I was telling you earlier, like I'm not about to go through motions of parents in somebody's face for them like,
Nah. Yeah. Because I mean, that's all. It's kind of like asking, you know, who made it. You know who made it? You ain't eating.
yeah.
So I understand. But everybody.
But I would say that one of the biggest challenges that I face with them getting
Really?
Yeah.
I find that even with artistry, you know, people painting, people who are producers, people who are, you know, musical artists, feedback is something that they don't receive either. So what kind of feedback are you looking for your future customers?
So
Like, what would you
I'm
like
trying
to
to figure out, like, if I get a meal, I need to know what's your favorite, what did you like about it? Is there anything that over, anything under, anything you didn't like the texture? I was pro, did it hold up? You know, things like that. Tell me
to
stuff.
tell you something.
Yeah.
You know, I could have told you something, but
It's gonna make you feel like
I'm not. That's the last time. That's the last time.
Oh, it's not the last
I
time.
promise that's the last time. It might not be, but I'm gonna say it is. But okay, so do you measure everything down to?
No, go.
Do you measure everything to exact quantities? Is that why you're looking for that feedback for the over under season?
Yeah, I try to streamline everything.
Yeah.
So especially if it's something like, and it's a process.
Definitely.
It's definitely a process. Like I have to spend X amount of hours and snacks, all that. It's my time.
Exactly.
I work for myself, so I have.
Definitely. So this is you. The only thing you do. This supports you. And
Well, in addition,
all right. So we're gonna take a quick break, and we're gonna
Phone on set. Why you got your phone on set?
Cause it's my birthday. Do what I want.
happy birthday!
Thank you.
Yeah,
So,
all right, so with the cards,
you see, how you gonna say so when I'm about to say so? You got it.
so with the cards, what all goes into the cards? I know some people think, that when people are reading cards, they're talking to the devil and they know when they're about to. You can tell me when I'm about to die.
Oh man, you
stuff
can read
like
those
that.
too? Oh yeah, man. Oh, eat that spaghetti. That's just what I heard.
Don't believe everything you hear.
But yeah, so what goes into it?
So when I get ready for a typical reading, I'll do a small prayer. You'll see me knock on the cards 3 times. And that's basically clearing the energy out from my last reading. And basically what the cards do, they work with something called the law of synchronicity. Basically that everything happens when it's supposed to happen at that exact time. So you're asking me a question while I'm shuffling. And I like to shuffle sometimes until cards pop out. So that tells me if that card popped out, that's exactly what you need to hear. Or that's the exact message for you. And sometimes when I'm shuffling, I pull a card.
Okay.
And it's just basically me taking the archetype of that card and applying it to whatever situation. Now, before I read, I need a little bit of background about whatever it is, because a lot of times people, they think I'm a mind reader. And stuff like that, and I'm not, because these cards, each card can mean at least 10 different things in any situation. So you have to tell me, like, what am I looking for, like what direction it's going in order for me to be able to accurately read the cards. And a lot of the time I'm kind of blocked. My intuition gets blocked if there's doubt.
Really?
Yeah. So like if you sit down and you like, I don't believe in this stuff, but go ahead and read for
When
me.
on top is done.
Yeah, that like puts a wall up, and I can't see. The messages are not going to come through me. But if it's like, I can work with nervousness. I can work if somebody is scared, but I kind of internalize it.
Yeah.
I'll usually ask, I'll be like, are you nervous? And he's like, yeah.
Just to figure out.
Because I can feel it.
You can feel it. Okay.
Yeah.
So, what are the proper names for these cards?
They're called tarot cards. Some people call them tarot.
What's it really? Say it again?
Tarot cards.
Tarot cards. Alright, I don't know why I thought it was tarot cards or something like that, but it's okay, tarot cards. Okay. Dope. So what drew you to just getting into these cards, to what drew you to what we have in front of us?
Well, it started basically back when I was a kid.
Yeah.
I always was like thrilled by gypsies and stuff like that.
Okay.
And I always liked the thought of reading cards, but it was something that I knew I could never pursue because I was super Christian. And,
I was going to ask you about your religious background.
Taught against that type of thing. Oh, you don't mess with the stars. That's the devil's work and all of that. But when I started growing up and coming into my own, and I kind of released religion and embraced spirituality, I started getting compelled by cards. Like every time I saw them, I couldn't forget them.
Really?
In my idle thoughts, I would think about them and all of that. And, I would have dreams about reading cards. And then I just started feeling like, I don't think this is going to go away. So in 2015, that's when I purchased my first deck of cards. And it didn't click right away because you have to learn the meanings readings of 78 cards.
Yeah.
So automatically, that's just very intimidating.
Mm-hmm.
So probably for like more than 6 months, I didn't touch my cards again. But I couldn't stop thinking about them. I had them and I could not stop thinking about them.
Yeah.
So I got to a point in the summer of 2016 where I was like, I'm going to commit myself to learning these cards. So I bought books, I watched videos, I watched tutorials and all of that. And like once I got the cards, I started doing daily readings for myself to just see if I was able to see what they were saying. And once things started like coming to pass that I was like seeing or like getting from the readings, I was like, okay, so I think I'm onto something.
Yeah.
And so I branched out to family.
Okay.
And I would read for them. And they'd be like, yo, Lee, you remember when you gave me that reading and you told me blah, blah, blah? Well, it happened. And I was like, oh, okay. So, like, I stayed in a box with my readings for a long time because I was just scared that...
You had to get the confidence up.
Yeah, I had to get my confidence up. But when it got to a point where people were like, oh, it definitely happened the way you said it was going to happen. Or, oh, yeah, you remember you told me that? Oh, it happened. And I was just like, okay, I got it. I got it. Like, this is my gift. And I had people that I was reading for, like, why are you not doing this for yourself? Like, why are you not pursuing this? And I was like, I'm scared. And I was like, that is a weak answer.
But it's the truth, though.
It was the truth.
You knew.
But I was like, how long am I going to let that stop me?
Exactly.
Because I'm like, if I've been compelled to do this for this long, it's probably what I'm supposed to do.
For those who don't know.
So,
you don't know her story. You don't know what she feels.
Yes, and I feel everything. So, so I probably just started releasing my readings to the public like a month ago.
Whoa, so this is new.
Mm-hmm.
This is
but
new. A lot
I've
of
been
preparation
like reading under, like behind the scenes, under the table for people that are close to me for like over a year.
Okay, yeah. So, man, I have a lot of questions. Okay, let me start with breaking from religion and moving into spirituality, right? So what kind of defined it, besides the connection that you felt from the cards? So was it something that you saw that happened in religion where you were just like, nah, really, that's just not for me? Or like,
it was actually like a stair-step process because it actually began when I decided to do my family tree.
Okay, that's dope.
So in doing my family tree, I was discovering all the different cultural backgrounds that I have. And I was like, okay, so I want to kind of dig into some of these beliefs and all that. And there was so much stuff that was like kind of conflicting. And I'm like, oh, well, you know, I can't do this because the Bible says this. And it got to a point where I was just like, the Bible. Because I've never been like a Bible person. But I challenged myself and I was like, you know what? I'm going to find fornication in the Bible. I'm going to find it. And I couldn't find it.
Really?
It wasn't there. And it definitely wasn't there in a way that people tried to perpetuate.
Okay.
And then I was like, I want to find tithing. Let's see if they have tithing in
Hey,
here.
look, you gonna make people mad.
Come at me. Come at me.
Yeah.
But I didn't find it the way that it's told. And I'm like, the way all of this stuff is being taught is not the way that it's in this book.
Yeah.
And so from there, I was just like, well, what else in here is just like not the way it's said to be? And so that launched me into probably like a 4-month journey of just like watching lectures, reading books and all that about religion. And that tied back into like the whole culture thing. And I'm like, this book didn't come along until XYZ, but my people before this, they were doing something. They were doing something.
Yeah.
And so it got to a point where I was just like, this isn't serving me. And I felt like it wasn't serving me for a while, but you know, coming from a Christian family, you're like, I gotta go to church, you know, I gotta go to church with my grandma.
Yeah.
You know, we gotta talk about Jesus at family functions.
It's routine.
Yeah, so it was habit, but I realized that it didn't serve me to my core. But once I kind of released those rules and the limitations of religion, that's when my gifts started awakening.
Yeah.
And it really literally started happening when I decided to just go full throttle with ancestral worship.
Okay.
Like talking to your ancestors, getting in touch with your ancestors, practicing a bit of their culture in reverence and calling on them. Like, you have my permission to speak to me and be in my life, because like your spirits, they're always there and they're just kind of waiting for you. You know, and I'm not saying that they don't communicate with you through religion and stuff like that, but everyone is different. And I definitely felt blocked by religion. And once I released it, like the floodgates opened and I started having all this weird stuff happening. I was hearing footsteps in my room at night. One of my dead grannies climbed in my bed.
What?
Full dead granny, full ghost. And she climbed in my bed, and I remember getting scared, and I turned my back, and I was like, Granny!
So like you saw her, or you just felt it? Like
I saw her, and I felt it. Like I saw my covers fly up.
So what kind of form was it? Like was she in?
It was like kind of transparent.
Really?
Kind of like light energy silhouette, but I felt her strongly.
So were you just flat out terrified? Didn't know what the heck was going on?
I didn't know what was going on, and I didn't understand why she was climbing in my bed. Like that was the thing that perplexed me the most.
How'd you know it was her?
Because I felt it. Like I saw her, and I felt it, and I was just like, Granny. But it was like my granny from 2 generations.
Really?
Back. It was like my great grandma.
Okay.
And I was like, Granny. And like after I said that, I calmed down because I identified it. But to this day, I sleep with a pillow on the side of me.
That's crazy though, because like I could think back to when I was younger. Me and one of my cousins, Xavier, we got into a fight right after our grandmother passed away, and our cousin John was like, "Y'all better chill out. Grandma Mary go come and pull y'all toes." She had a habit of pulling our toes when we would sleep, and we were sleeping when we were kids, sleeping on the floor. You know, I wrapped my legs in a blanket. I woke up because I felt like something was messing with my feet, and the blanket was at my knees, and one sock was off. Yeah, I felt like somebody was messing with my toes, and I looked to the left. My cousin Xavier was to the left of me, and he was the same exact way.
What?
And I was like, what in the world? Now, move him, and he was like, why you messing with my feet, man? I'm like, bro, your feet ugly. I ain't touching your toes. You know? And he was like, man, that was John. And he pushing John, waking John up. John like, man, I ain't touching y'all feet. What I look like touching another man's feet?
Yeah.
You know? Man, right there, I was like, yo, spirits, something else. That's not the first encounter I had with spirits, but yeah.
Really?
Oh no, it's real.
Yeah.
See, and I have yet to have any encounter with any. So I respect your choice to go on this journey because you did the actual research, you know, to see what was for you. So thumbing through the Bible, like where did you go to kind of reference, like say fornication and what it was being, you know, taught to you about?
Honestly, being that I was never a Bible person, and I can't even recall any of it now because I'm just completely removed from
Yeah,
Bible.
I understand.
But I just went on Google and I was just like, fornication in the Bible.
Yeah.
And so it would give me these different scriptures.
Come on.
But it was like more recent ones, and I was like, okay, I want to try to find like the more original text.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
Older ones. And it just so happened that someone gifted me a Bible back when I was in college, and it was an older Bible, and I had it on hand. And so I started looking through it. I'm highlighting stuff and all of that, and stuff wasn't there.
Nothing just was relatable to what was being taught. Okay.
And definitely not in a way, because I remember with fornication, they spoke against like things like incest and bestiality and stuff like that, but there was nothing that referenced premarital sex between 2 consenting adults.
Okay.
It wasn't there. And then with tithing, it was like, it's basically anything you bring out of the goodness of your heart.
That's what I was thinking
for
that.
God's work.
Yeah.
So whereas you're in church and they're like, you gotta give money to the church, you know, you gotta give X amount of whatever to the church, and it wasn't like that. They're like, it's whatever you have to do God's work, and if you have to think twice about it, God doesn't want it.
Yeah, exactly.
Because God doesn't want you to go without.
Yeah.
So if it puts you under a strain, then it's not gonna work.
You know, I'm not sure if you heard this fable story. They had a guy who was stuck in like a flooding house or something like that. He saw like a boat came by, helicopter came by. He was like, nah, God gonna help me with the woo. He drowned eventually. He got to heaven and he was like, God, like, why you ain't come save me, bro? I sent you a boat and a helicopter.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So, like that right there kind of just made me really think that you found, like, when that boat came along, like you found that helicopter, you know, to kind of like really save yourself and enlighten yourself on all the information that was really out there, and that's pretty dope.
Because I definitely didn't want to close myself off from anything by being very limited in my thoughts. And, you know, in regards to all the research that I was doing, I was, you know, reading about how thoughts, and sometimes our thoughts and the feelings we get, our intuition, that's our spirit speaking. That's how our spirits speak to us. Yeah. And sometimes you think, oh, that's just that little voice in my head. Whereas, no, like sometimes those are your spirits speaking to you.
Where else?
Yes. And that gut feeling that you get, that's being compelled by the spirits as well. So, you know, I started just kind of feeding into all of that stuff, and you know, it's gotten me to where I am now.
Yeah.
Damn.
And if it feels right, you know, if you can wake up every day and, you know, sit right with it,
Mm-hmm.
So, like, do you have a morning routine that kind of like sets your vibe for the day?
Yeah.
Okay.
Every single morning I get up and I go kneel at my altar, burn either sage or Palo Santo. And
I got the same.
Wait. Say that one more time.
Palo Santo.
Palo Santo.
Okay.
It means holy wood.
Hollywood. Okay. All right.
But then you said that very fluently. Like
She did. That's why I was like, say that one more time.
And so, and both of those are like energy cleansing agents and all that. And I'll just take a minute to set my intention for the day.
Come on.
I'll speak to the spirits. Like I have pictures of my ancestors and my dead. Everybody that I can have pictures of. They're on my altar and I speak to them. I got my little vision board up there. And I'm like, you know, that's mine, that's mine, that's mine, that's mine. Yes. And then I do my daily reading.
Come on.
And so, like, as I'm shuffling, I'm like, okay, what y'all got for me today? What y'all got for me today? And, you know, so I get my little message for the day.
Yeah.
And I usually sit with that for a little while. I'll sit and have some tea. And I'll just, like, muse over the day. See if the spirits want to engage in dialogue with me, show me anything. And after that, I get up and I just
go about my day.
Yeah.
So I recently started burning sage. Like I started really learning, or I started looking into. I was trying to read about chakras and whatnot. I haven't really. I think I haven't got past like the second chakra or something like that. But I'm gonna start from the beginning because I really want to know about it. So. But I recently started burning sage because I found out that it was a spiritually cleansing, you know, utensil, and it's crazy. Like I know one time he came out, he was like, "Man, what is that smell?" I was like, at first I was like, nothing, bro. And then he asked again. I was like, it's just sage, bro. You know, so
I'm thinking something on fire, like a cord or something burning, and he up here. It's sage, bro.
Yeah,
like
sage,
relax.
So, like, you know, and I really have started feeling, you know, I've been a kind of good person at being able to get, you know, kind of good read off of people. Like I can look at people's face and just be like, man, you're not a good person. Like you might be acting like, but something up with you, you know. So ever since I kind of started, you know, paying attention to that, you know, I was like, dang, man, I am around a lot of people and I feel uneasy around some people. And you know, you really do have to like cleanse that off you because a lot of people do carry like just bad energy, bad vibes, bad intentions. It may not even be for necessarily you, you know, but it's just
pick it up.
Exactly, you know. And I was like, man, I don't want none of that, you know, in my space or just harboring around me because ever since I eliminated stuff like that, people and activity that involves that, I feel a lot better. You know, so
yeah, I'm very big on energy, especially in my apartment. Like, usually if I know people are gonna come over, I have a white candle burning at the front door.
Why white?
Because it's pure.
Okay.
It purifies the energy as they come through, and I also don't allow shoes because a lot of the times bad juju and stuff sticks to the soles of your shoes.
Come on.
And all that, so people they leave their shoes at the front door. Not to mention I have carpet.
Yeah,
and
so
that's
we
just
coming
nasty.
in here. We coming in here. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, and I'm on my floor all the time. I stay at my altar, kneeling at my altar, so I don't want folks dragging their little nasty world shoes through
Yeah.
my apartment.
Yeah.
Just period. Because sanitary purposes
Yeah.
and also spiritual purposes.
But you got shoes on the set.
I mean, everybody else.
Dang, bro, she say that, man.
Hey,
that's cold.
hey, I'm pure.
She said whatever,
wait.
said whatever y'all got.
I don't know what y'all got. I got right this
She
morning.
say, I'm good.
Wait. So it's okay to wear shoes over here, but nah. No. All right. So what about you? Said shoes carry. What if you don't wear the shoes that often? You think it still have that same vibe for like for me and him? We both have crap ton of shoes.
Mm-hmm.
So you think that like so if you step in my closet, you might just find a whole bunch of bad juju in there. Or?
Not necessarily.
Okay.
No, not necessarily. Because, I mean, it depends on the person as well and the places you're going.
Ah, okay, yeah, that's true.
So
that's
if you
true.
always in the club where people just like getting ratchet, fighting and all that, that's what you're going to be carrying around on you. But if you like in the grocery store, I mean, not to say those type of people ain't inside of the grocery store and whatnot,
Yeah.
but it depends.
For sure.
So I need to stay masked.
Because, I mean, when I was buying the Sage, I didn't know where exactly to buy it from. So, I was on Amazon and whatnot. And as I was reading about, where it came from ancestrally, I was reading that, you even got to worry about where it was packaged, and I was like, man, that's right, because even religion is packaged to help people, but it also takes advantage of people, especially when it comes down to those dollars.
Yeah.
So somebody selling sage, they could have, the same intention, but, could be coming with some bad stuff. Like, is that a factual thing, or?
Yeah, you always, anytime I buy something, any of my spiritual tools, I cleanse them.
What's the process for that?
It can be like I have this thing called a singing bowl.
Mm-hmm.
You can use sound, and
Okay.
so I hit that bowl, and it just goes like ding.
Yeah.
And that sound frequency cleansing. You can clap to cleanse the air. Like if y'all wanted me to cleanse the set right now, I would
Okay.
walk to each corner, and I would just clap. Let this place be cleansed. Right now.
I mean, you didn't bring no video.
Like, go, what you doing?
Okay.
I would
And
like-
I actually have some water here. Okay.
Because I would like to be cleansed and all, and all that.
So.
This,
Got some video
yep,
going on.
yeah. Technical difficulties.
Okay. So, like water. Water is something that can easily be used for cleansing. It's called, we also call water spirit because it's a conduit.
Okay.
So if I'm going to do a reading, I'll drink some water. You can pray intentions into water. So if I was like, I really want you to have a great day. All great things are going to come your way today, and you will be absolved of all negativity. And so this water is blessed now.
What?
It's just that simple. And it's also as simple as this girl is getting on my nerves. So let her get some of this negative energy back that she's putting out. Have a drink.
You can give it back to people?
Mm-hmm.
What? That's what I'm going to start doing.
Like, I don't know what people call it, but I call it the rubber band
Yeah.
effect.
Yeah. Bounce back.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
The rubber band effect.
Yeah.
So I usually give it back to people. So, water bless everything you touch. Let it be in love, light, elevation, by spirits who are in the ship. So let's say my water is blessed now. Just take it. It's blessed.
I'll take all the
It's
blessings.
perfectly blessed.
Come on.
Just like that. It's just that easy. People think that it's like a super difficult thing to do.
I thought it was.
Like, oh, I gotta go give me a priestess or something like that,
Yeah.
which I am referred to as well. But people think they always gotta step outside to like get spiritual help and all that, but they don't realize that we're born literally with everything we need as far as spirituality.
Yeah.
Like the feelings we get, it's innate for you to be a good person. We're taught how to be horrible, because it's very easy to treat people how you want to be treated.
Come on.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
Teach us that as a
I don't
kid.
need anybody to teach a whole class about, hey, you don't slap people because that's a horrible thing to do. It's easy for me to know you don't slap people because I don't want nobody slapping me.
You know what I'm saying?
You know?
Yeah.
And that's just human nature.
Come on. Okay. So behind us, we have this artistic piece. I'm not quite sure what to call it. But let's see, we have yin and yang that's chilling in the middle. We have feathers. Does any of this have significant meaning, or is it just meant to look cool?
It looks cool, but this is also loosely fashioned off of a dream catcher, which is an extremely spiritual tool for me, because the dream catcher, it comes from a Native American legend. So there was an old lady, a grandma. She watched after this village, and all of her kids were in the same place. So when they started getting older and spreading out, she got sad because she could no longer have all of them at her fingertips, but she still wanted to look after them. So she basically transfigured herself into a spider, and she built a web over the top of the village to where she could crawl and take care of everyone and still look after everybody.
So wow.
Yes. So your average dream catcher is actually a spider web, and her name was Asibikashi.
Okay.
Different tribes are going to call it different things, but Asibikashi is what I call her. And so, of course, the circle itself, that represents like the circle of life. The netting in the middle, the web, that's what purifies the negative energy. So it's like a filter. It's like an energetic filter. And you usually have beads,
Yeah, I know.
like all over the middle of it, and they hold the negative energy.
Come on.
They hold the negative energy in it. And when the sun hits the beads in the morning, it cleanses them. So the feathers that are usually trickling down, that is like the conduit that like makes the positive energy flow back to you, the energy that's been filtered out. So that's why they call them a dream catchers, because in theory, it's filtering out your dreams and giving you all the good stuff back.
Okay. Yeah.
So that, I mean, it makes sense why people hang them up in certain places, because I've heard a lot of people say that they hang them up like in their bedroom above their bed.
I have
So
one above my bed.
yeah, so it makes sense now, because I never really knew what it was. I knew it was called a dream catcher, but that's about it.
A lot of times people, they just get them because they look cool or it's trendy and stuff like that, but it is literally like a spiritual thing for me when it comes to dream catchers. I have one in my car, and every time before I drive, I just rub it all the way down to the tips of the feathers. And that's just like, hey, I know y'all about to take care of me, and I'm good. And I have one in the doorway to my room, because like when people are at my place, they have to pass through my bedroom to get to the bathroom. I'm like, y'all ain't about to be bringing none of that extra stuff. You're gonna pass under this dream catcher and you're gonna get filtered out. So yes, I love them, and I have them everywhere.
I don't even know where to start with like spiritual tools, so I haven't, obtained one of those. Like, so for somebody who's really getting into, how would you know that this would be the route? I guess those that know, they would just know, and they would just start finding out.
You'll know.
Is that how you started getting into what tools that you need?
Because so a lot of my stuff is like culturally based, Native American, Creole, stuff like that, African tools and all of that. And I just get whatever resonates with me, and I see how they use it, and I'm like, okay, I want to do that. That's what I want to use. And some stuff, it doesn't work for me. There are things that I'm just like, meh.
Not really feeling it.
Yeah, because I got into the Egyptology for a while, but that was just more like a phase. It was like a stepping stone.
Yeah, you just need to see
into everything else, because I'm like, whatever I'm feeling, I'm gonna try it.
For sure.
I'm gonna give it a try. So, but I do, however, love the story of the judgment in Egyptology, and that basically says that you go through the underworld and you come to like this scale. I'm obsessed with scales because I'm a Libra. I'm all about balance and fairness and justice and all that. And it basically says that your heart has to be weighed against a feather. And if your heart is heavier than the feather, there's like this creature that's just gonna eat you on sight.
Oh, so it's like, man, you better get everything, get everything off your chest, right? Get it all out.
I'm glad I do that now.
So I'm glad I do that now. So it's like if you got some hate chilling on there, you better get that hate off of there, because it could be 1 ounce of hate. toward anything, and it's just
Yeah, like so
man.
Damn.
And if you wait, then you go on to like glory with the ancestors.
Yeah.
So that's a beautiful story.
Definitely.
And I love it.
Hey, I have a question. It's kind of going a little sideways, you know, but you say you kind of do cultural things. What do you identify yourself as? Do you consider yourself an African American? Do you consider yourself black? Do you consider yourself, would you just say Creole? What would you say?
Paper if they ask me?
Well, typically, out of habit, I just say black.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm getting to a point where I'm kind of undoing some of my social engineering because, you know, we're taught
Domestication.
Yes, we're taught like if you're black, that's all you are. You're black. You're not anything else.
Yeah.
Yep.
But yet, every other race of people, if they have like mixed cultures, they're like, if they're white, they're like, I'm white. But if they have an Asian parent, they're like, I'm Asian.
Mm-hmm.
So they can switch it up. But I'm like,
Okay.
what's wrong with us when it's time for us to represent our cultures? And it's not about race,
Mm-hmm.
because race is engineered. Race
Yeah.
is created. It's
Exactly.
not biologically. Well, some people will argue that it's biologically provable. But in the end of the day, it was created. It's something that was created.
Because they had to pocket people in a certain way. I mean, that's a whole nother
Oh,
story
that's-
we can go into.
That's a real black hole right there. But it depends on the day. So, like, you know, some days I have my Native Americans speaking to me.
Mhm.
They're the ones that come in my dream. And so I'm just feeling very Native American today, you
Yeah.
know? And of course, like Creole, you know, that's just life. I can't get away from that. You
Hey.
can be Creole and black and nobody is going to judge you for that. But for some reason with Native American, that's a soft spot.
Really?
You can't say that because folks going to be like, oh, everybody think they Native American and blah, 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 blah.
Nah, and I understand because those people they went through some hell. Like,
Mhm.
they got wiped out. you
Yeah,
know.
but the very big misconception about Native Americans is everybody is under the impression that our Native Americans were these white-skinned, straight-haired,
Yeah, I don't know.
high-bone structured people. And they were dark.
Yeah.
As fuck.
Yeah.
They were dark.
Like,
Like,
we in Mexico right now, you know what I'm saying, which I'm sure they had some tribes,
Mhm.
Native American tribes in this
Yeah,
area
and,
back
like,
in the
as
day.
far as
Like,
slavery,
it's hot down here.
they couldn't tell the difference between the Africans and the Native Americans. They just all grouped them together, and that's why they stopped trying to like draw the line between them, and they just started calling everybody colored.
Yep.
They started calling them all colored because it was much easier.
For
And
them.
so what they would do is they would take the ones with the specific phenotype
Mhm.
that looked a certain way, and they would let them retain their status as Native Americans, and they would get the benefits. But if you weren't
Didn't
like,
fit in
yeah,
this,
if you were too dark, their hair was too kinky, like no, like you colored, you gonna be treated like a slave now. And the
People
way
didn't
that
ask for that. People didn't ask to have kinky hair. Like none of us asked to be or have the features that we have.
no, and the way the one drop rule worked is that they said if you have 1/16 of African blood, you are
That's what it
forever
is.
African, and all your children thereafter
You know.
shall be that.
But you know, I'm proud of it. Because you know what? We got our genotype, our gene is gonna be dominant no matter what. Whatever we mix with, ours is gonna take over.
Now I asked that question because one of my, I believe it was my homegirl, she shout out to Janae. She posted like, what do you identify yourself as? Do you prefer to call yourself black or African American? And me and him had the conversation. It's like his shirt is black, but his skin does not match his shirt. His skin looks more brown. That's my opinion. But yeah, correct. Yeah, so that was just me asking that question right there, though.
Yeah, and I feel like it robs us of our culture.
Yeah.
Because what culture does an African American really have?
They rob us of every culture. I mean, when everything we have, I guess I should say,
Yeah.
they try to take everything from us,
We're
but that goes.
We're very divided, and we don't practice, and that's why a lot of us are not able to reach into our spiritual abilities because there's like a whole part of us that's cut off spiritually. Because if you're all, oh, I'm black, I'm black, I'm black, well, you know, you just may have some people that don't practice this black culture, and you can't speak to that spirit. But if this spirit is more of an indigenous belief, more of a Native American belief, and you start some of those practices, they like, oh, I can come through now. Because you feel me now. Yeah, you're on my frequency now.
Yeah.
So, like I said, I wasn't able to start popping with a lot of my gifts until I started speaking to my
Get them
spirit.
gifts popping, y'all.
Yes, straight like that.
All right, so do you mind telling us a little bit more about the cards and like what some of the cards specifically mean or could possibly mean?
So, basically, I was telling B earlier, each card represents like an archetype in our life, like something that we go through in our life, or they can also represent people. So, for instance, this card right here, it's the Nine of Swords. When we think about swords, those are thoughts. Like each suit has something to do with an element. So, let me see, a fire. Looking for water, and let's get a pentacle. Okay, so when we see these, the coins, the pentacles, that's money.
Cash.
That's material things of a material nature. Okay, and this also has to do with the body, health, and all of that. And so when we go to, and this resonates with Earth. This is the card that resonates with Earth. Well, that's the suit. And then we go to swords. It resonates with air, thoughts. So these are going to be things we think about, things that stress us, things that bother us, how we use our words. Which is, when you think about words, it's with swords.
Yeah.
And then we have fire, which is basically anything that gets us fired up. Yeah. And this can be passion. This can be something that we're passionate about as far as business ventures. It could also be sexual passion, sexual fire, stuff like that. Fun stuff.
We at the Quest Podcast support all family fun activities.
With protection.
With protection.
We're not to blame for anything that you catch or have.
Yeah. Oh man, that's just. I didn't even understand.
Welcome to the Quest Podcast, goddammit.
And then we have cups. And cups that resonates with water. So that's basically feelings, emotions, spiritual conquest, and things like that. So if I had to describe each of these cards, the Seven of Pentacles talks about you reevaluating where you are. Okay. I've worked on XYZ. Right now, is it worth it for me to keep going forward? Or do I need to leave it where it is now and start over again?
Common question for entrepreneurs.
Yes. So this is about reevaluation, taking stock. This is the anxiety card. The little things that kill. What little thoughts are keeping you up at night? What's bothering you? Things like that. Just like what thoughts are just stressing you.
Yeah.
And this is the Four of Wands, which is actually one of my favorite cards because it's like a celebration card.
Okay.
It's a card that talks about happy times, exciting things. So this could also be things like a baby shower, a graduation, or an announcement of like a baby, something like that. Fun stuff. And this is the Ten of Cups, which is basically good times, happy family, your money right, and you just in a real good spot. You just riding on the rainbow.
Hey.
Like, you just happy. So this is a very good outcome card that people like to see. Okay. So if someone asks me, what do you see in the future of my business? And I pull this card, I just smile automatically because I'll be like, you got it, like, you're going to be good. So, and that's basically how the cards go. And so, this could also mean something like, oh, am I going to get a good message from my spirits? Yep, they're going to come right through. That's a lot of water. They're going to flow right through. You just have to let them in.
Okay, I'm interested. Okay, so when people come to you with the cards or to have a reading, they ask the questions.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
Yeah.
Okay, so they're coming to you for advice in a sense. Okay, I wasn't sure if you just automatically just start boom, this happened.
Oh no, like I'm not able to just automatically. Oh, this is for you. This is for you. This is for you.
Yeah.
You got a business venture, like. you usually have to tell me so I know what direction to take the cards in.
Okay.
Now there are times when people just want like a general message from the spirits, and I'm able to work with that without them telling me too much of anything.
Okay.
But I do like because it's not foolproof.
Yeah.
Every single thing I say is not going to be the exact thing. So if I veer, I tell people if that's not resonating, tell me so I can get the card right, because the card came up for a reason. And whether or not I'm able to decipher it or not, you have to let me know.
So it's like this one came up because there's a wall we got to break through to get to the other one. Okay. That's dope.
So
That's dope.
we want to get to the fun stuff.
Come on with it. Like I'm intrigued. She like I'm about to do it. All right.
On that note, that's the end of the Quest podcast. Now playing.
Man, this is interesting. So I heard gold was a good like transfer of like energy or something like that. Somebody told me something like that because one of my coworkers, my good friend Nina, she asked me when she saw my chain, she was like, "Did you get it like blessed or something like that?" I was like, "No, I just kind of like my mama gave it to me, so that's a blessing." But but so is that true, or like does that involve anything?
I've definitely heard about gold being very important in alchemy.
Okay.
And stuff like that,
Okay.
but that's not really my area
Gotcha.
of expertise.
Got you. Hey, is your nose ring ancestral, or did you just get it just because you like it?
I've had my nose pierced since I was 15.
15? How you got away with that? Yeah, she was
Like
the
she
one
said she was.
Yeah, that's right. Makes sense. Makes sense.
Hey,
Okay.
mommy approved of it. I wasn't trying to get like a tramp stamp or my nipples pierced or nothing like that, so I guess she thought, hey,
It's just go ahead.
yeah, go do it.
It's better than some of the other things you could possibly get.
Yeah.
Understandable. Definitely
Alright.
understandable.
So what you got for me?
Am I getting married? Or will I ever be married? Let's see.
I usually shuffle until cards pop out, so this can be the nerve-wracking process of like, when is it gonna come out? Or sometimes if they don't go back,
We
so
got like
all
15.
of those
I got,
came out.
you talking about all of those?
All of those came out, so you gotta see what you got here.
Okay.
Alright, so let's see.
It's going down.
Sometimes you kind of hear me muttering under my breath.
No, I understand.
Because-
Do what you gotta do.
That's a lot of cups. That's a lot of emotions there.
I got a lot
We
of
got a
those.
queen. Okay.
Let's see what's going down. Let's see what's going down, y'all.
Okay. So, to broadly answer your question, yes.
What's up? I'm getting married, y'all. We don't know when.
I don't know when, but yes.
I call him best man.
So, this tells me in relationships and whatnot, and possibly in past relationships, you got to a point where you had to walk away.
Okay.
Because you saw where things were just not working out and
Yeah.
it wasn't serving you emotionally anymore.
Okay.
So you walked away, and you are pretty good at using your mind to manifest what you want.
Okay.
And I also see that like you're pretty charismatic, so you have no problem with making offers to someone that you're interested in.
That's true.
But when it comes to a woman, you want someone that has a balance of a sweet and a fire side to her.
Okay.
You like a little bit of both sides. You want somebody that has balance.
Yeah.
You don't like nobody that got too much attitude, but you don't like nobody that's just soft and crying all the time. It's
You know
just
what
going to
I'm
run
saying?
over you. But once you find this balance and they resonate with you, you got the wish card,
Okay.
which is the 9 of Cups. And that tells me that your wish is going to come true. You're going to get what you want.
That's fine. Let's go. Ah.
So it is hope for Rue after
It's
all.
hope. It's hope.
See
That's
the
fine.
underlying energy you got here.
Oh, it's
okay.
underlying energy? Oh, that's
Yeah,
dope.
so usually I like to see whatever the deck under the deck says.
Uh-huh.
I call it the underlying energy. So this is 12 the Hangman. and it basically says don't try to control everything.
I need to hear that.
You have to know when it's time to just sit back and surrender and let things come to you.
I needed to hear that. Okay.
Like a motherfucker.
Okay. And don't be so picky all the time, because sometimes you miss out on blessings being that way.
What? I'ma shut up.
But I see definitely you've been feeling due to your pickiness, like, dang, am I ever gonna get what I want? And don't stop believing. You got the star, and that's hope. And you want someone that can handle your directness. You're very direct. Because I'm seeing that, like, in the past, you probably haven't always been that way. And so you got to a point where you see the only way for you to fully get what you want and get your point across is by being direct. And not caring whether you hurt feelings or not, because honesty will always get you further than lying. Oh yeah, and you got that little playful side to you, that charismatic side to you, where you like to charm.
That's dope.
Ain't got no problem with charming.
What's up, girl?
Ain't got no problem with charming, but I can definitely see that is going to lead you to a point, like, a lot of this is personality.
Okay.
So, and that's going to lead you, this is an affluence card. This is the card of inheritance. So that means not only are you going to end up with family, but you're going to end up with money.
I got you, fam.
My grave.
I got you, fam. That's live. Okay.
So how was all that? Did all of that resonate?
Man, that hit. That
Okay.
hit. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that hit. So I'm gonna get married. I'm gonna have me a fine wife and have all the monies. You know what I'm saying? That's what she just look. This is the Quest podcast.
He said we can end it done. This guy here,
Okay.
man.
All right. Okay. So we can go further.
Yeah.
Okay.
Do you want to keep piggybacking off this, or you got a different question?
It's probably a different question. Yeah, because I figured, okay, so love life and let go of the control, dude. Stop being so picky sometimes, because I am. I'm picky. I don't want to be shallow. I don't.
Hey, it is nothing wrong
But I like
with liking what you like.
You know, that's all I'm saying. I'm like, you know.
People don't tell you to go to the store and buy an ugly ass shirt.
You know what I'm talking about?
You gonna get a nice shirt,
You know,
and it ain't nothing wrong with
And
it.
you know,
but-
It's nothing wrong with being
You know,
picky.
it ain't nothing wrong with being picky, but it does get to a point where you're just rigid.
Okay, you know what I'm saying?
No.
Yeah, you know, and I don't think I've ever just been like, oh no, this and that. Like I work with some women, you know, but it's just some of them is just damn. Like, you know, some when.
We keeping this on camera, or you want me to
I
cut
don't care.
this?
You keep it on. I don't care.
Nah, you had something that you had honestly, you had something that you worked with, you have others that I felt you didn't work with enough. I would say that. But at the same time, I'm one of the people who probably work with people too much.
You?
Hey, no, really. Hey, no.
That's what I say. She don't owe me.
No, look. When it come down to somebody that be see like a good side in, you know what I'm saying? Like he'll work with it.
I go above and beyond.
No, that's good.
I drop quick. I'm like, well, I don't really
All right.
like you said. It ain't fit me emotion.
Yeah.
He up there, all right, you starting to irritate me. Bye.
You know what you want. And a lot of people, like early on, they're able to see. Nah, I ain't gonna get what I want out of this.
Yeah.
So you know how to cut your losses on the front end, rather than trying to like wait. Oh, maybe I can change her. Or maybe this.
Or she thinks she could change me.
Mm-hmm.
It's not gonna happen. I'm sorry.
I mean, we're creatures of habit, so it's more so how can we adapt to each other and help evolve each other.
Yeah.
But everybody don't see it that way. I'm curious to know what the next question gonna be.
Okay. Will I retire my mama?
Good question.
Mama, you know I love you. Y'all remember that song? You know I love you.
Oh, that's noise to me.
Yeah. Well, some of them might know. I think our viewers will know that.
Yeah, I think our viewers would. Yeah.
Some of the kids, let's see what they say.
Oh, you definitely have the options to retire your mom. And it's not
necessarily
one way. You can split it a bunch of different ways.
I got you, Mom.
So I'm seeing different streams of income.
I got you, Mom. I got you.
You're not working.
Okay. Can I ask you something while you're doing that, or does it have to be like a new thing?
Well, if you want to ask me something new,
okay.
I want to put all the cards back so I can make sure it's none missing.
Okay.
And to piggyback off of this, you're going to get this done by following your passion and being relentless. Being a boss. But it's working in your own passion. Though.
Yeah.
And just knowing that you're going to make it happen.
Yeah. That's mine. God damn it. It's mine.
Okay.
Alright. Will I be able to help a lot of people and impact their lives positively? See, I knew I wasn't crazy. The king came back.
Okay. So let's see this underlying energy. Okay. So I'm seeing with that mindset, it could bring you a lot of people trying to take advantage of you.
Okay.
So definitely be on the lookout for that. But I'm seeing that you definitely have the structure to make that happen, and you know how to work with resources.
Okay.
You know how to take what you got, spread it out, re-up, stretch it, and flip it.
Oh.
And
Cut it.
A nurturing, a very nurturing quality about yourself as well. But you're able to see objectively what you need to do. So you have a good balance between the emotional part of it and the very structured part of everything. Because I'm seeing that there were times when you wanted someone to be there for you or wanted somebody to reach out to you and help you, and they did not.
Come on.
And you definitely felt like, I see that you still got something, but yet you're going to let me be in these wasted cups. That's what you're going to do.
Ooh, come on.
And being that that's hard for you to let go of, because he's kind of...
he's still looking at the other cups instead of what he got.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So I'm seeing that you don't want anybody else to feel this way.
Hell no.
But when you get an Empress, that tells me that you are definitely primed to give birth to something.
Okay.
You can definitely give birth to what it is you want. This is like a manifester. She's able to manifest and give birth to what she wants. And you know what you need to do as far as your intuition goes. You know your calling. And you just have to sit back and walk into it, and also be patient.
Okay.
Don't be hasty about it. Sit back and take as much time as you need in order to plan it out, because you really want to be sure you get it done the right way.
Yeah.
Because if you got her intuition mixed with her grounded qualities and her ability to work on the material plane, and see, he's a thinker.
Okay.
He know how to think shit up. He can make spreadsheets. He know how to make schedules. He know how to work it out. But he also not gonna bullshit. He got that sword. He's not gonna bullshit. He knows how to cut it out. He can see you coming from a mile away.
Let's go.
And if you see somebody coming with this energy, you're gonna be like, bye.
Yeah.
Straight
so
up.
What's that guy doing? Like, I see he's like, is he stealing swords, or is he
Yes.
like, okay.
Yes, so you can see him kind of like,
yeah, like, little swiper.
Yeah.
You know what
Swiper, no swiper.
getting away in the middle of the night
yeah.
and whatnot. So
Those are people I gotta watch for.
Yes.
Okay.
Because these are your thoughts. This is what you do. So you got to be careful.
He trying to take my sword.
Yeah, for people trying to ride your wave and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Trying to take what you got, or trying to like come up on you, or trying to take advantage of your thoughts, trying to profit off of you.
Yeah. See, this one right here, I think that one, that's something that I try to really work on every day. Because I was talking to one of my partners, and I was telling them that, like, once you go on the journey trying to fulfill your purpose in life, once you think that you kind of, got it, you tend to you tend to realize that materialistic things, like, they're not always satisfying.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And I have, you know, I've been blessed to have things like, you know, a lot of materialistic things, but after a while, like, I'm starting to see that those two over there mean a lot more than, you know, those over there, because they're pretty much empty. You know, so that's dope. And just to prove to y'all even more, you know what I'm saying, that this is on point. Like, the fact that you point out the Empress, like, that's really dope, because I have thought that, like, you know, if I do get married, which you say is gonna happen, like, I am gonna need like a strong woman that can be able to, you know, help me on the ventures that I'm going, because it's gonna be important, because we're gonna need to be like, you know, 10 toes down, 10 hands, you know, in the soil. Like, yeah. This is dope. B, you gotta get yours done, bro. You should, bro. It's like, you know, because I just feel like this is really okay. So
I got a question. I got a question.
Go ahead. There you go. You doing it? You finna do it on this one?
I mean, yo.
Yeah, go ahead. I got some good news. You know, I heard in gambling you get out when you're on top.
Will I be successful?
Let's go. I just want to be successful. The Quest podcast now does karaoke.
You could possibly get booed off stage, though.
That is a possibility.
But we do encourage having fun.
Can you sing good energy to the chorus?
I can. I always do.
Well, I'm saying,
I always want the best out.
can I sing good energy to the chorus?
I think people just being positive.
Yeah. And, you know, another thing that I like to tell people about the cards is, you know, nothing I say is absolutely written in stone. It's based on you, based on how you're feeling right now. It's like a snapshot of your energy. It's like if, you know, the universe took a picture of how you're feeling and all the decisions that you're planning on making right now in this moment. Yeah. This is the possibilities that you could come out with, you know? So, I do get bad readings sometimes.
Nah, I mean,
you know, hey.
People go through bad places in their life, you know?
The good thing is, you can change it. You can, okay.
Okay.
That look like... Let's see. That was really certain.
Hi. Okay, I got this.
Hmm.
I got this.
Let's
Okay.
see
So, basically, whatever you're thinking about that branching out on your own has made you feel like you have not been getting the money that you want, and it's made you feel outcasted and doubtful because it's different from a life you were used to living, a life of having and like excess and doing exactly what you want when you wanted to do it. But in branching out on your own, there came a lot of doubt of wondering, is this all going to go downhill, or is everything going to pick back up? And I'm seeing that you were able to come out of that point of worry, because if you see the troubled waters right here, they have clear waters ahead.
Okay.
But it took you to, like, you know, feel all of this and experience this, be down in that wavy water, and actually make a decision to keep pushing ahead. And I see that you definitely have no problem with working very hard. And it is hard work. And sometimes you do feel stressed and overwhelmed and spread thin. But something about it makes you feel very balanced, because you think on the back end you're getting everything that you deserve. You're definitely getting, you know, your justice due to you. What you put in is what you're getting out. You're definitely giving birth to something beautiful. Something very lucrative. You can see that she is sitting up there and she ain't worried about nothing. She lavish. But in the end, victory. This
Let's
is
go.
a victory card.
Let's go.
Victory card.
Let's
We
go.
call this the victory card.
Hey,
The
man.
6 of Wands is the victory card.
Okay.
So,
Look,
hell yeah.
I ain't gotta say it for you, but I mean, I know you. Look, goddamn.
Oh nah, I mean the troubled waters, like he said about as far as the depression thing, like I mean same thing for me. But yeah, no, like the things that was said, yeah, it's pretty accurate. I actually got another question now.
Okay.
I got another question. Hey, hold up. We gonna keep rolling or what we doing? Hold up. Nah, before we do this, let's go ahead. Where can people find you at?
Okay, so.
All contact information that you want to give.
Okay, in regards to my vegan Nom Nomz meal prep, it's vegan Nom Nomz on Instagram, but Nom Nomz has a Z on the end. So it's NOMZ. So vegan Nom Nomz. And as far as all of my spiritual conquests as well as my artistic conquests, which I also do body painting. I'm a body paint model as well as a body paint artist. All of that is going to be on my pole dancing pagan page. That is pole dancing _pagan. Don't give me that look.
Hold up. Gotta zoom out. There we go.
Hold that, so throughout this whole conversation, we done gone from look. You got to eat good. You got to cleanse your spirit. And you also got to do it on the pole at the same time. You never mentioned. He did mention to me that you did the body painting, but okay. So as far as the pole fitness, what goes into that? I'm just being a man now.
Well, I actually own a pole, so I have a pole in my room, and I've owned a pole since October of 2006. So
we're gonna edit this part out for our goddaughters. Y'all ain't getting that. You hear me? She grown. She can do what she want. Y'all ain't giving them. Okay.
And you ain't grown till you 90.
You ain't grown till you 90. Okay.
But yeah, it's fun, and it's like the easiest passive exercise that you can think of.
So okay, so what just made you be like, look, I ain't trying to twerk in the club. If you do that, look, if that's what you do, that's not her. But look. So what made you be like, yeah, I'm gonna do that? Like,
okay, so like we were in college.
Okay.
And we wanted to have a Halloween party, but there was some guys a building over. They wanted to have a Halloween party as well on the same night as our party.
Yeah, nah.
And so they were like, we know more people than y'all. Everybody gonna come to our party. Ain't nobody coming to y'all party. And we was just like, yo, how can we get one up on them?
Straight pole.
I was like, we need people at this party, man. And we were freshmen, so you want to you want to make a good impression. And we were just like, y'all remember when we was in Spencer's and they had those poles? Let's get a pole. We had people like oozing out of the door, up the hall. We won. And the guys that were gonna have the party, they ended up not having the party, and they were at our party.
Dope.
So, and it just sat around for a while, and it was one night, it was like a Friday night, we were all just drinking and getting drunk, and we play on the pole and all that, and I did a flip on it. And it worked.
And you didn't break yourself.
I didn't die.
Yeah, you didn't
So I was like, yo, did y'all just see that? And they were just like, I just saw the end of it. Try to do it again. And I was just like, all right. I think I did it like this. And I was able to replicate it.
That's dope.
So that's where I discovered, hey, like I actually got enough strength to do stuff. So that's where it all started for me. And, I always managed to have enough space to have it around. So I had I had it in my dorm room. Mm-hmm. It was in the living room. Like, my room wasn't big enough to have it in there, but my roommates were always willing to let me put it in the living room. We would just move all the tables out of the way. That was like our centerpiece.
Yeah, that's love.
Even in my apartments, I've only lived in 2 apartments. My first apartment, my room was big enough for it, so I have it in there. And my apartment now is big enough for it, and I have it in there.
Yeah.
And I just, pole is life.
So, pole is life. That's a first. That's a first. So with it, like, what's the main, I guess you could say, part of your anatomy that takes the most strength to hold you up there? Is it your legs or is it your core?
Well, it depends on what you're doing.
Rule, lean forward.
Oh, nigga, why you just say that?
I'm trying not to just be out. I'm sorry. Keep going.
We can cut that.
Go ahead.
It's mostly depending on what you're trying to do. So if I'm trying to get to the top of the pole, I have to use my arms to get up there.
And how high is it?
My pole is 9.2 feet.
You scared of heights? Obviously not if you're going to the top.
That's a nice controlled thing,
Okay.
but like miraculously, I have these dreams in which I'm petrified and debilitated by fear of heights.
Okay.
For some reason, but that's another story. But yeah. So I have to use my arms to get up there, and let's say I want to like kick my legs over or do something fancy. That's core.
Yeah.
But if I want to go with no hands, that's legs.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then it's also a matter of like positioning your body in a way where your skin holds onto the pole. So that's why a lot of the times when ladies pole dance, they don't have on a whole lot of clothes because clothes are not very good at helping you stick to the pole.
Yeah.
So your skin is what helps you stick. So that's why a lot of the times you'll see a girl able to hang on a pole with her legs like that and her arms like, back because she has the pole squeezed in between her flesh.
Yeah.
And that's what's holding her up there. So, I mean, people, they strongly associate poles with stripping.
They do.
And all of that. But I'm like, if you knew everything that went into pole dancing, you would definitely respect it more.
Yeah. And that's why I wanted to ask you, like, the actual physical part of it. Because I know that a lot to actually do that. Because it's kind of similar. What's that, parkour? Where you're just using your body, jumping around, using your pure strength. So, yeah, it takes a lot of strength period. So, how'd you learn your exercises? Because like I've been getting in the gym watching YouTube videos and whatnot. How'd you learn? YouTube, yeah.
YouTube,
yeah.
Trial and error in YouTube. I've taken one class, and that was for someone's birthday, like last year. But everything I know, I taught myself, and it's trial and error. So if there's a move that I want to do, I go and look it up, and I see what muscles I need to do it, and I try to go build those muscles up. And then it's just practice. And you'll usually know if I've been working out really hard on the pole because I'll just have random bruises at weird places. Like I'll get bruises on the front of my feet from like hanging onto the pole.
That's different.
One of my most interesting injuries was a pole burn. No, it was a carpet burn on my forehead.
How?
Like, how? I can see.
Yeah.
So you just fell and hit
I didn't
around the
fall.
sled?
Because I have a spinning pole.
Okay.
So, I
spinning.
slid down, upside down, and when I came down, like,
The
when I shifted,
met your face.
yeah,
Okay.
touched my forehead, and I woke up the next morning. I'm like, what is this? And I was like,
So did
a carpet burn?
it feel the same way that it does on your knee with it being on your head?
No, because nothing had to touch it.
Okay.
So it was able to like be free and all that, but
Cocoa butter and all that good stuff?
yeah,
Yeah.
coconut oil, but I definitely had some explaining to do. People know a carpet burn when they see it, so they're
Yes. They're like,
Yo.
what was you doing?
how did you get a carpet burn on your
On
forehead?
your forehead.
Yeah, what was you
Wait,
doing?
okay, so who did you have to explain this to? That's what I thought. That's what I thought.
And what did
Oh
they
man.
say?
Well, they know that I dance and all of that, so once I told them, they were like, oh, okay.
Oh well, damn,
Yeah,
that's
fast.
accepted. Okay,
So you're
No,
like
no.
a full out instructor, or you just do this? Just
do
a
it
thing?
for fun.
This is my thing.
This is your hobby. Okay, that's dope. That's dope.
Yep.
Man. Okay.
So, all right, we got. Would you say you prefer to do it while high, while drunk, or both, or sober? Drunk, okay.
Yeah.
It's a roller coaster.
Yeah, it's a roller coaster, and like that little animal comes out. So it's like a total.
Well, guys,
That's the end
that's
of
the end of the
it.
podcast. We're going to hang out to eat vegan meals and watch a pole dance.
But wait, don't.
Hey, look, if y'all ain't going, I'ma go.
That is the Quest Podcast.
Into Your Spirit News. Here we have Lee and Parrain.
Is this recording?
Yes, sir. We're rolling. Sorry.
I swear, then you press that button. This guy here. This guy here. Yeah, so I'm magically here at the table. We just go figure out a way to get me in there. But yeah, appreciate you for coming through.
Thanks for having me.
The energy, the vibes were real positive.
Thank you.
And again, where can people find you at?
Okay, so for my meal prep, that's going to be vegan Nom Nomz on Instagram, VEGANNOMNOMZ. Okay, and then for all of my spiritual stuff / artistic, body paint, all of that, that's going to be at Pole Dancing Pagan. And I'm usually the first person to pop up because nobody else has a first name for pole dancing.
So, real quick question. Do you have anything coming up where people can possibly see you at if they want to get a reading? You're going to be doing readings there, or maybe an artistic event that might be coming up?
Nothing for the rest of this month.
Okay.
But usually you can catch me at Bombard Garden every third Friday of the month for a show called La Sopa. I'm usually reading there. But for September, I'll actually be painting. I'll be doing body painting. And you want to check that out. It's always entertaining. And if you want a reading, you can always reach me at my pagan page. I take appointments at all times. So I'm pretty much always available for readings. And I also do reading parties if you're interested in such.
Y'all should definitely look into that. I'm sitting here magically now because I had something done. I didn't want it done on camera, but I like the results. I like the vibes. I like the feeling. And this is the quest. This is the quest part. Oh man, this is the Quest podcast, man. We out.
Mr. Rogers taking trophies from opponents like the Stros did the Dodgers. Told Lady Luck a challenger ain't making no dodges. What I'm making is shaking, foundation in your lodges. Ain't nothing stopping me, a man, woman, or objects. If you look how I'm working, you can tell that it's obvious.